Well, hello, my stained glass friends. Welcome to the studio. I'm Jeannie, and we are going to talk about doing a new pattern. And I just wanted to show you this. I first want to tell you about the inspiration for this window. So there are 3 circles. And we have some family who are getting married, and they are a blended family. So there's a circle for the mom, a circle for the dad, and a circle for the baby. And so right now I have been just putting it on some poster board. So here's the poster board and the carbon paper and the cartoon that David so lovingly put together for me. I gave him a sketch and then he put it on CAD, making the circles round and the lines straight. And so right now I am just putting numbers on them. I've already gone over all of these parts, and I'm up to 10 here. And so we'll get to see together how many pieces are in this. Not very many. I think it'll go fast. Where am I up to? 18, 19, 20, 2, 3. All right, do you see any that I missed? Ooh, I do. Okay, so just want to show you that's the beginning, and I'm going to take these now. Oh, this is a trick I wanted to show you too. When you're ready to take this off, only undo 2 of the nails, and that is so you can see if you've done all of them. And I see a place that I missed. Do you see it?
Sure.
All right. So let's fix that. And that has caught me so many times, especially if you have hundreds of pieces. And when you lift this up and you say, whoa, I missed one, then it's still right where it belongs and you can fix it. So, okay, I'm going to kind of take this apart, get it ready, and cut the pattern out for you. And then we'll come back at that time. So here we are in the studio, and I have spread out some different colors that I thought might look good in this window. And of course you can choose whatever colors you want, but this I just thought we've got some kind of purpley and green, and when they came together they kind of mixed and came up with that one. I've got clears going on outside and then clear on the border. So that's kind of the first thing you have to do is choose your colors. I know some people say, well, can't you just send me some colors and so I don't have to think about it? Really, that's the most fun. I know sometimes it takes a long time to choose your colors, but when you get to them, then you'll know that that's really what you want to have happen. Now here is our palette. We have a pretty good size palette of colors, not a lot though, especially nowadays when glass is so expensive. But that's just kind of what you have to take. It could take you a few minutes, it could take you a few hours, but that's your first thing, is to choose your awesome colors. So I scored these lines, and there are a couple of different ways that you can do these straight cuts. Okay, one is to use your running pliers by just lining it up with your score line and squish. That is an awesome tool, so much fun. Squish. Okay, so then we can set those in. Okay, if you use a hand cutter, which I did, you might need a little bit of grinding. So far it looks good. So another way, okay, let me make sure we're in shot here, we're all right. Okay, another way to do these straight cuts is with a strip cutter. Okay, so you're just going to line it up right on your line. Dip into the oil. Push away from you, just putting oil on. Push down with both hands and push toward you. Okay, a couple of ways that you can break. One, you can put a thumb on either side and just break it apart like that. Or you can use the running pliers. And there you go. Okay, so that gives us number 25, number 20, and that one looks like that needs to be trimmed a little bit. I'll do some grinding on that one. So that's how I'm going to do all of the straight cuts. So I did a little bit of grinding in these outside pieces, and not so much that they didn't fit, but more because I noticed that the edge was very sharp. And so while you're foiling, you don't want to get cut. So I just went around them just gently. What I did too is with my pattern, this has I don't know if you can see, but this has a very textured side and a smooth side. So I put the pattern on the smoothest side, but turned it upside down. With these edges, that wouldn't matter so much, but just to get in the habit of doing it with the others if you had that same problem. So then, if this was cut on the smooth side, you could turn it upside down and your bumpy side would be up. Got that? Okay, so I've got those 4 in. I'm going to work on cutting and grinding these other 4 for the other sides. All right, we've got the border. I'm going to do a little bit of grinding.
We'll be right back.
So I brought this big long piece, you can see it's a big long one, over to the soldering table so that I could have a bit more room. Now I'm using a Arctic glass, and so it doesn't really matter which side, which direction you're going, because it's also, it's not uniform anyway, and so it's going to be fine. So if you want to just turn your pattern pieces every which way, then that's perfectly fine, and it'll still work no matter how you have it. So it's just kind of how you want to cut it out. The main thing about that is just to remember you have to go from one end to the other. You can't make any 90-degree turns or anything. So you have to make sure that you can get from one edge to the other when you're cutting. Okay, I always like to put my numbers in as I go. This one I probably could figure it out pretty easily, but if you have, say, 400 pieces, you definitely want to have all the pieces numbered. Whenever you have an edge to your glass, you may as well use it as you're cutting your piece, because it saves you a cut if you can go along an edge that's already there. Okay, so I can still get from here to here, so I'm good. How's that? Good. There we go. And it's nice to be able to use a piece that's that big and long because, you know, it's just kind of in the space there and kind of unwieldy. So I'm glad to be able to use this piece. All right, I'm going to cut these guys. First of all, I'm just going to cut it apart. So I don't have such a big piece to be working on. And I think even still, I'm going to cut it apart a little more. Okay. That's a curve, a little curve, but still a curve. So I think we're going to go ahead and tap it out because you always tap out your curves is the best. Okay, we've got a little bit of a curve here. I hope you won't have any trouble with these pointy pieces. What sometimes happens is when you're tapping them out, you have a tendency to lose that tip. That one came out all right, yay. Very nice. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cut out the rest of these, and you can cut yours out while you're at it. We're just doing these edge pieces around the circles. Some students ask if they have to just score and then break, and then score and then break. When I'm first teaching, I say yes. Just first score and then break. But I think when you get the hang of it, then it's okay to score a couple and then break them all at the same time. We're getting there. One more of these. Cool, I didn't break any corners. Before we go on, I would like to give you a tip. something that I learned from a glass teacher a while back is that right now, take a look at this piece of glass on the table. What do you see wrong with this picture? If you guessed it, yes. Look at how this corner is just poking out, and this one too. And someone could easily just run into it, either cut themselves or just make the whole glass come right down onto the floor. And glass is too expensive to be breaking it like that. So the best thing to do is to make sure that all of the pieces are on the table, okay? Because you don't want any mishaps with you or with your glass. Just a tip. Okay, so I've just cut the green part, and now I think I'm ready to cut this purpley part. Sure, I've got a clear space. I'll just mark these. Did I tell you that we have a bird nest in the wreath of our front door? I was just noticing that the birds have feathers now, and when you look in at them, they look back. So they don't seem to be scared. Maybe because they just grew up with us opening and shutting the door. Okay, let's get this cut. So if you're doing this Patreon with us, it would be so fun if you sent me a picture of what yours looks like. Because I know from all of the classes that I teach, and we use a lot of the same patterns, they are so different from student to student. Because of the colors and the textures that they choose. It is so fun. If you notice, I didn't go all the way around. I mean, you probably could, and I probably could, and it would have been fine. But I just decided to go off, and then do that one separately. Okay, there's number 7. This pattern is kind of fun because it doesn't have very many pieces. I think there are 28. All right, so we'll get these purple ones cut out. I'll give them a little grind, and then we'll see if they fit. Okay, I'm going to go grind these.
Okay, wait a second.
What?
I want to ask you about this one back here.
Oh, it is Mother in Heaven. It's for a show that's due in August, in a certain women's show. It's going to be shown in Salt Lake at the, what's it called? I'll think of it. Anyway, it's in a show in Salt Lake. And so what I've done here is the outside I want to be the elements. There are wood, metal, water, earth, wind, fire, thunder, ice, force, and time. So each one of these just has something to do with one of those elements. And this is Mother Nature, Mother in Heaven. And I took the design of her pose from an old painting, but then I had my daughter pose in that way, and I took a picture of her, and so this is actually the profile of my daughter. The funny thing is at the time her head is shaved, so I had to put some hair on that gal. So yeah, that's a little bit about
And what's
that one.
this? You've got pressed flowers in there?
Yes, I do. This is about the time one. The pressed flowers are about time. So we've got springtime, just, like colors and stuff. And then we've got summer. And this is a fall because of more of the orangey. And this is winter.
Huh. Okay.
So that's the passing of time. Okay, so I've got our window over here. So all I have is these little trifecta pieces and the outside corners, and they're all going to be the same color.
Okay.
So here we are getting ready to foil. Wanted to show you one thing though. I did have these cut for this space right here. Well, I won't take it out, but this color was right here. As I looked at it, what I wanted was that this color and this color coming together to make this. And this, once I got it in, just wasn't right. So I recut. And, sometimes you have to do that. If it's not right, you do it over until it's perfect. So now I'm ready to foil. I'm using a 1/4 inch foil, which is kind of my default. I'm gonna just cut off the end there. Starting at one corner, making sure we're just right down the center. When I really get in the groove, I figure I can do 1 piece per minute.
Did you say you had 28 pieces in this?
Yeah, so it'll take me about a half an hour.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes if you have to, regrind a piece, or if you run out of foil or something, you have to add all those minutes in. And I'm wondering if these bigger pieces will take on. No, I don't know. Okay, was that a minute?
Well, the camera's been on for 2 minutes.
Oh, and I talked for a little while.
Uh-huh.
So, anyway, so I think that's what we're going to be doing for the next half hour at least, is just foiling this together.
Okay. We'll be back and see what... A lawnmower. Okay.
Well, here we are. It is finished. It is all soldered and polished up. It looks really pretty. I kind of like how the colors turned out. And so what we would like to know is what your colors turned out like. If you would like to send us a picture of the one that you finished with this pattern, we would love that. I get very excited when I see what kind of colors people come up with. You could do some really bold reds and yellows and stuff with this, and that would be so fun. So that's it. Hope you're having fun with the pattern per month. And while I have you here, I just want to show you something that I'm working on. This is a bonus. So I have a lady who wanted to do a tea party for some of her granddaughters. And she said there were, I think, 6 little granddaughters, and she wanted butterflies for all of them. So I said, okay, no problem. So first of all, I put some in our molds, and I would show you the molds, but they're in the kiln right now. And so I tried them. Well, no, these were the first ones, and they came out, not bad, but not exactly what I was hoping for. So, and I used Frit on those, and so I tried a different one and put these in and used some kind of heavier Frit, but then the kiln kind of went crazy and it got too hot, and so then I couldn't get this off of the glass, so that didn't work. So I tried another one. So I did some like this and even put a wire in it, but I don't know, it just kind of melted funny. It looked weird. And if she likes those, fine. So I tried again. And this time I did these. The only problem was that some of them melted too much. Like that one looks kind of like a bow. I like this one. So, and this one and this one, they're okay. So I have one more batch in the kiln, and I just wanted to show you kind of the different things you have to experiment with to get what you want, especially in the kiln. Did David tell you what his favorite saying is? Tell him, David. When you
Those who work with warm glass, they learn to live with disappointment.
Yeah.
So let's go look at the kiln.
Okay, dare we?
Sure. Here's a glove.
All right, so these haven't been in very long, so I'm not sure what they're going to look like. You ready? All right, well, they're melting, eh? Okay. So, enjoy yourself, do some fun things, make that pattern, show me what you find, how you did it, how it turns out for you. And so until next month at our Pattern of the Month Club, I say happy glass.
What? Happy glass.
Happy glass making.